Hello everybody, welcome back to another replay. This is your boy Strawberry Starcraft here, and I got another exciting one for you to watch here. This is the first game in a series between Parting and Reynor, which was played in the Team Liquid League. I'm really excited to catch the series. These are two of my favourite players in the entire world, and it's a best of 5, so I am very, very excited to see how this all plays out. Query best of 5, it might should be best of 7, I'm not sure, but let's see and let's learn together and let's find out what's going to happen in this very, very exciting series. So we have down here in the bottom left hand corner a member of Dick Boy, Parting, everybody's favourite Protoss right now. Recently went really far in the GSL, beat Maru, beat a bunch of top players, really showed that Protoss can play the game and have a chance. I know there's a lot of Protoss players out there that probably question that. And it was a Forge coming down, and he's going for the 3 pylon blockage. Oh, this is so annoying. You know, any Zerg player, this is so frustrating. But what's Reynor's response going to be? He's got 4 workers immediately onto that pylon, 4 workers onto this pylon. He knows exactly how many he needs. Party's just building cannons on the low ground. Oh, look at this. It's so tight. So well calculated. He's made another wall behind this cannon, and he can just put something else here. Another pylon, and oh, the probe just gets out. The micro is so good from Parting. So what have we got? We've got a gateway and a cannon. So he's going to be building, gets the probe. All right, kind of big, but the pylons, the cannon's already up. Spawning pool is about halfway done. So yeah, this hatchery feels a little bit doomed. Parting takes his gas. So what we're going to see? We're going to see a Cybercore probably. Is it going to be the Stalker based one, or we're going to see a Zealot come out? I think we're probably going to see a Stalker come out. Maybe both. Maybe he goes to Zealot and a Cybercore. Yep, Zealot, Cybercore, and yeah, so spine crawler being built. He's gonna get a second spine crawler. Yeah, 2 spine crawlers, 10 Zerglings. Parting's trying to get another probe to build. Oh, he can get a second cannon. Okay, so killing that probe was really important because Parting clearly did actually want to build more cannons, but Reynor did really well killing that probe and just shutting the potential down. But this is quite a lot of units from Reynor. I feel like he can probably crush this, but can he save the hatchery? That's the question. The Zealot just doing absolute work, just committed his life for Ire, and Reynor cancels the sport. The spine crawlers, feels like he's held it, and with the broodling spawning off the hatchery, he certainly destroys everything here. So when the dust settles, Zerg lost their base, but Protoss lost all of the money that they invested in here, and they haven't won the game. And there's no Nexus, so not really where Parting wanted to be at this point. I think killing that probe was actually so critical. And really prevented Parting building more structures to turn this into a basically undefeatable position. But really good play by Reynor to just isolate the probe and focus it down. And now he's got map control, he's got lings, and he's building his second base. In response, Parting is staying on one base, does not feel confident in building a nexus with some cannons, which you can understand. And instead just building a Stargate, a really fast Stargate. But Reynor understands that the first danger is past, and he just needs to understand the next threat. Sends in the Overlord and sees the Oracle building, and is going to be able to respond properly. Like I think, really, you got to give Reynor a slight advantage here. He's going to be ahead economically, and really the Oracle shouldn't do a lot. He's got Queen, he's got another Queen coming, and he's got a Spore, so he's got all the defense he needs. As the Lings do a little Warcraft 3 block on this probe, but guess what? Probes can minnow drill, but it's gonna die eventually. But trading out quite a few Lings. And look at this from Parting, right? He knows he's been scouted. He saw the Overlord scout his oracles, so instead of sending it across the map to try and get damage, he's saying, "All right, Reynor, I put enough faith in you that you're gonna actually build a reasonable defense. So I'm just gonna commit to killing what I can, and just killing these Zerglings seems appropriate." So yeah, he kills the Forge so he can get out and actually put down a Nexus. Not destroying... I guess you ideally want to kill the cannon, but you can't get the cannon to shoot itself. But but also a forge is not that important in this matchup. I mean, at this point in the game, certainly when you're still on one base, you don't need a forge as much. But third base down for Reynor. His drone count's getting up to a reasonable level. He's got his 2 spore crawlers. He's got 3 queens. He's got some zerglings. Really not in a bad position, Reynor. But Parting, I have to say, he is kind of the king of jank. He's the king of cheese, and not in a hash kind of a way, not in like a really tightly defined cheese builds as such, but more like in a broken down game, in an innovative game where you've got to think on your feet. It's not following the meta. You've got to be resourceful. You've got to be opportunistic. That is really Parting's wheelhouse. I think he's probably the best player in the world for the opportunistic, micro-based, tactical plays. So I'm really excited to see how he's going to transition this situation. I think potentially a lot of Protosses would have given up and been really downhearted, but Parting showing a way out of this situation, making a nice gateway wall with 3 stalkers to defend against any kind of lings, and 3 oracles. All of a sudden, your spores and your queens are not as good. 3 oracles can just dive in, share the tanking, but here we go. All the queens are there in time. And I'm pretty sure this game is played before the patch, so the queen range is still what it used to be. It's not been reduced by 1, and the Oracle energy system hasn't changed. Not the energy system, the cost of revelation, etc. is still the same. So just bear that in mind. So what's Parting's plan? He's rebuilding his forge. He's getting blink. It seems like probably just like a big blink stalker follow-up. Probably go to like 7 gates, 6 or 7 gates, and go pure blink stalkers and just try and crash in. And it's just going to be a matter of macro numbers, I think. Can Reynor actually just hold R long enough to just have too much? And I guess also against stalkers, lings are pretty important. And the lings see the 4 sentries, and the 4 sentries is going to tell you there's a push coming in, because you're not investing in long-term things like upgrades or a robotics facility or storm or anything. You're investing 400 gas straight into sentries. Oh, and he uses a guardian shield. That's a serious misclick. Loses out on a bar of energy there. That's at least 1 force field. But Parting puts down his third base. So yeah, he's not adding on a million gates. He's just still on 3 gates. So, and he's getting that does tell me that he's actually just going to be very defensive. Perhaps he's going blink because he's actually concerned about some kind of muta play, or just in general, blink's going to it's great offensively, blink, but it's also great defensively. It gives you that ability to track around your base really quickly, and if there is an attack, you can really get the value out of blinking back your units. So it's pretty clear that there's not an attack coming in, because we would have seen it coming already. So Reynor's going back to drone production, and probably going to take a 4th base pretty soon as he's getting his overlord speed, which tells me that getting overlord speed this late in the game, where you don't really need to scout as much, that tells me that he's probably going to go for some kind of drops. And we see a Baneling Nest coming down, so that's going to give him easy access to Baneling drops, which are really, really good against Protoss. But blink is a great thing to have. So it kind of seems like Parting's just faking here. He's just posturing. He's just saying, "Oh, look, I'm coming for you. My sentries are across the map." And that's going to prevent Reynor from building a 4th base too soon, or skipping on roaches. But just keeping the Zerg honest, making sure that he actually doesn't just go pure macro and get a huge advantage just by a small move out, just to threaten. So yeah, Parting's really is going to be on the defensive here for quite some time as he throws down a bunch more gateways and a robotics facility. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some disruptors come out. I love this skin, by the way. It's just fantastic. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some disruptors come out as the lings come in here for a little run by. Blinks forward, trying to block them. Oh! And a big force field. Yeah, this tells you Parting's intent to be defensive. Wow. That's actually difficult to get every ling without any escaping. You might think that's not worth it, but at this level, every little bit matters, and that is just 3 units for Parting. He lost nothing except energy to kill money. So it's great. As we see a Spire coming in. Very interesting indeed. The double hallucinated phoenix comes in. The scout, will they actually scout the spire? Looks like they're on a path to scout it. Yep. Scout it. And Colossus in production. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is what Parting showed us in the GSL. He went Stalker, Sentry, Colossus, like 3 Colossus, and then switched into Disruptors later. I wonder what we'll see out of the Spire. Will we actually see Corruptors? Like an old school Wings of Liberty composition? He committed his Oracles to try and kill that hatchery. And did not work out. Oh dear. And then you lose your Oracles. That always feels bad. 4th base well established now for Reynor. He's got the drones. This is actually his 5th base coming in. We see +1 air attacks, and we do see Corruptors. So Corruptors obviously can hit Colossus, and that's where he's coming from. But to be honest, I'm a bit nervous. I'm just remembering back in Wings of Liberty, trying to use Corruptors against the Protoss army was really never any fun. So I really hope that Reynor knows what he's doing here, because once, let's say you kill all the Colossus, you've then got Corruptors against Blink Stalkers, and these don't shoot down, and Stalkers shoot up, so you're just straight up disadvantaged. So yeah, I really hope this works out for Reynor, but let's wait and see. He sends off a bunch of revealed lings to try and get a cancel here, and the Blink Stalkers come in, take them down, and there really shouldn't be a way in. A cannon and a shield battery here just to defend this base from any further run-bys. +1 melee and +2 melee and +2 range being researched at the same time. No armor upgrades, just the pure dips as an infestation pit comes down. And they managed to pick up a single Stalker, but then their buddies come in and they're like, "Hey, you killed one of our friends, die." Okay, so Corruptor's diving in, picking off a Colossus. Look at the number of sentries here. Whoa. That is a crazy number. So he doesn't go for Storm, he just goes for sentries with the Colossus behind. But he's seen the Corruptors now. He's had his Colossus count put down to 1. And he's building a Warp Prism. Kind of seems like he's going to attack with the Warp Prism. Okay, there's a second Colossus. So 2 Colossus and a Warp Prism. More sentries being warped in. Looks like Parting is getting ready to go in for a big attack. He's got a +1 armor upgrade coming, and I wonder if that will be ready in time, or will that be the trigger point? Ooh, and some Banelings came in back here, but Protoss actually able to pull away the vast majority of his probes. As an attack's coming in over here, the Corruptors pull back your Colossus, blinks back, targets the Corruptors. Yeah, I mean, this is the key issue with Corruptors against this kind of composition. If you ever played Zerg vs Protoss in Wings of Liberty, you'll know how frustrating and difficult this composition actually is to defeat. And there's just not enough Ravagers to deal with the number of force fields. I'm not sure if we've got a solution properly yet, but certainly like Baneling drops onto the army used to be a way to approach it, although it was very risky. Anyway, here we go. Here's the big fight. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's basically maxed out against maxed out. Any advantages of the early game are kind of been phased out with these perfect compositions. And the Corruptors come in. The blink forward, classic part in blink forward as he builds more force fields. He did take quite a few hits. All the 2 of the Colossus go down, but the Corruptors count is completely whittled away. And this does not look good for Reynor. He's just running things up against the force fields here. And Parting from a quasi-failed, half-successful cannon rush has just macroed defensively up to this beautiful late-game composition. And now I think Reynor just has no hope of stopping it. Looks like the game is going to end real soon, and we should see GG. Well played, Dick Boy Parting. One hope Parting. Join me again for the next series. Hope you liked it. Peace.